time. Story time. Can you guys see me okay? Yeah? Okay. Very, very good. All right. Let me get my Instagram peoples on here as well. Wow. All right. Okay. Good deal, good deal. Good people, good people. Already got a couple people joining me on YouTube. Welcome, welcome. Let's see here. Let's kind of get a little, little cues going while people are jumping in. This is one of those tunes. You ever just get those tunes that jump into your head a little bit, and you just can't, get it out of your brain. This is mine for the moment. So I'm just trying to. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, I didn't know I had the fist moves right. If you're wondering when it's gonna stop, it's about a minute and 20 seconds. This is the vibration here, okay? Given the nature of what I was talking about last night. Oh, 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 hey, hey, hey. I don't know what this song is about, man, but it's a vibe. Oh, no. It's got a something to it. It's got it's giving lemonade by the poolside vibes while everybody's doing cannonballs, right? Mike, what you think? Do you hear me on this? Isn't it giving poolside vibes with cannonballs, right? Hey, hey, yeah. Okay, it's finishing up. Even the video is just like trippy. It's perfect though. Oh man. Okay, guys, welcome back to this conversation. So tonight I want to tell you guys a story, right? Because I feel like one of the big things I could regret if I were to have any regrets over these years is the number of stories that I come across or encounter or have that happen in a day in the life of just being in New York City, right? And not just New York City, anywhere that I go or travel, there's just always something, right? Some story worthy thing to share that I just either record and keep it to myself or tell a friend, but don't really share broadly because I think there's just these many lessons that so many people can gather. So if you don't know who I am, I'm buihemadu, I'm the image architect. I like to add in there like with a little thing that says the people's image architect because I know that there's other people that at least in some way, shape, or form have borrowed that title, but I'm really an image architect for the people, right? The people's image architect. So I want to tell this story um, about someone that I encountered today, and you can relate to this person. Maybe you know them. Maybe you know someone like them. I'm just looking back in the notes. It's given listen on the walk to the subway vibes. Yes, 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 yes. So, so I just want to tell you guys this quick story about a gentleman who I came across today, and I think his story is just worth telling and worth sharing with you guys, um, because it's really the face of suffering among men in the wake of what I shared about last night with Twitch passing away. Um, I think we got to really tune in. I think we got to get emotionally in touch, and own the power that comes with uh, emotional. articulation, right? Being able to put into words what you're feeling. And I think that's one of the greatest challenges we all face. For me, I know it was a big challenge that I faced until I just started to just find words. So anyway, all that to say, so there's a gentleman I came across today, and he is doing a little bit of shopping, and he's looking at a jacket, and I said something to him about like, man, you need that jacket in your life, right? This sport coat. He's like, oh no, man, I'm just browsing, man. I'm just checking out the city, right? And this is near like Rockefeller Center area, okay? So he's in this, men's clothing shop area. And so as I'm rapping with him, he's like, yeah, I'm just checking out this jacket, and I'm checking out the city, and just thinking back to when I was a kid, and just missing those days, And he says, I mean, man, when you're a kid, you just don't know how easy you have it. And he said, I'm just browsing through the city, man, just like reconnecting, and just connecting to memories of just being a kid through this season. Um, and I just can kind of sense that he was like in this sort of nostalgic, you know, experience, right? Being in the city. And and at some point he's like, yo, man, because the holidays are rough. He's like, I work in, he's in like sort of satellite industry, like just stuff that involves telecommunications. Let's just call it that, right? and he was sharing that there's a challenge with just between meetings, staff gatherings, holiday parties, um, end of the year numbers, number crunching, traveling for the holidays, spending thousands of dollars. And he was just like breaking it down. It's like, you spend X amount on the flight, you spend X amount on the car rental, you spend X amount. And he says, when I get to my family's place at such and such a city, I then have to book a hotel, and I'm there for 3 or 4 days, and then I got to fly back to wherever I'm flying in from, and the experience is not even pleasant. And it's like everything is prepared in such a begrudging kind of way where he mentioned that his one of his siblings would prepare a meal and be like, it took me 6 hours to make this pot roast, right? And sort of almost like throw that in his face, like it's like, how dare he not appreciate how long it took for her to make the pot roast, right? Like, and I identified with him, right? Like, there are holiday gatherings or situations where, I mean, if you've ever been there, inside of all the festivities, somebody wants to feel like they did more than another person, right? There's always this sort of like one upping, right? Well, I brought the mashed potatoes. Well, I brought the macaroni and cheese. Well, I made the da da da, and it took me blah blah blah. And, the roads were rough trying to get these ingredients, and there's just all this sort of like subliminal infighting that's going on, right? And that's what he was sort of like trying to capture, that he is spending his money and travel time and energy to go and be a part of. He said, "No, don't get me wrong. I love my nieces and my nephews, but like this experience of the holiday, this is just miserable time for me, right?" And I could just almost see like in his expression, in his face, that he was just about to just break down. And I was just thinking, this is interesting. I said, this is what I'm talking about. When I did those videos, if you guys track my content, when I did those videos a few weeks ago about being drama free during the holidays, that is an illustration of why those videos exist. The holidays can definitely most certainly be genuinely happy times, but it's not happy times for everybody. And for the reason that I just highlighted. Because I think in our hearts, we have the ideal of wanting everyone to be cordial and get along and be in some sort of harmonious cocoon, right? We really just want that experience. We want to feel like, you know, we're all on the same page as far as just wanting peace and the magic of life and living to just flow. But it doesn't flow like that. And we can't figure out why. And we know or feel like, hey, this person, needs to resolve what they have unresolved with mom or unresolved with dad or unresolved with cousin so and so or unresolved with nephew so and so. Like, we all have our perspective, and they're not gonna go to counseling or they're not gonna go to therapy. They're not gonna, right? Like, there's just all these dynamics, energetic dynamics between and amongst people, right? And if we're the ones that are like really the peacekeepers or the peace seekers, it feels awkward. It feels off. We feel like the odd person out, right? And or if we see bickering happening around us, it just feels, um, I don't know how to describe it, but like it just feels like it gets on you. And then you contrast that to this like happy, cheery, marketed experience of what the holidays are supposed to be about, and then you feel like, well, what's going on with me? Like, that's not what I'm seeing on television and these commercials. That's not what my household looks like. And now you start doing the comparing thing. Well, compared to how it looks in the world, mine doesn't look like that. Or you see, Instagram posts and you're like, oh, wow, look, they look like they're having fun. Scroll, 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 scroll. And you start getting down and down and down and down. And so here's what happened at the end. I told the guy, I said, look, it's so funny that you mentioned this because I did a video the other day about, 3 ways to stay drama free during the holidays. And I said, one of the things you have the opportunity to exercise is just to announce and let everybody know going into this next year that you can, um, that you will be taking time just to be with yourself for the holidays. And it's not personal to them, but you just really need time for you. Just let people know early enough so they don't feel it's sudden and personal and instigated by something. Like, just let them know in advance. Get going into this next year that you are going to just be like dealing and working on you. And you could, and as simple as that sounds, in his mind and in his facial expression, it just feels and it just felt and looked like a light bulb went off. Like, yeah, I can do that. The other thing that I shared with him, I just remembered this. The other thing that I shared with him was, I said, what I told my daughter recently was that Christmas isn't on the 25th. Christmas is the day when I can see you, look in your eyes, see you smile, hear you laugh, give you a hug. If that's on a March 13th, that day is Christmas for me. Any day that I can be around loved ones, hug them, hold them, tell them that I appreciate them, that's Christmas. Just let that sink in. For me, I'm not I'm not like a big gifts person. Doesn't mean I won't welcome it or appreciate it. Absolutely. I'm a the best present you can give me is being present. How about that?